Marriages have many challenges. One of the greatest challenge in marriage could be infidelity. What happens? Forgiveness? Easier said than done. How do we survive infidelity? Welcome to Family Times, and we are glad that you could join us on this particular show. With us is Elizabeth Mokoro. Welcome to the show, and say hi and tell us why you're alone in this show.
Hi viewers, and don't listen to him, that's a joke. I'm alone here because my husband is not here, he's not around. He works outside the country. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Next, I want to introduce the Umas, Richard and Tabitha. Welcome to the show. Maybe you could introduce yourselves. Richard, introduce your wife, or Tabby, introduce your husband. I don't know.
Who goes first?
You.
Thank you. Welcome, our viewer. I am Richard Ouma, and I'm here with my lovely wife, Tabitha Ouma, in this lovely sitting room. Thank you, Dave, for welcoming us.
Thank you so much. Karibuni sana. Tabby, you want to say something?
Hi, viewer. Thanks for joining us.
Next to me here is the smiling machine, my wife Linda Riaga. Please say hi to our viewer.
Hi viewer, welcome once again.
Yes, thank you so much everyone. Welcome to our living room. Feel free. You can pick an orange, a fruit. Feel free. Tuko nyumbani. Now the question is, we are talking about surviving infidelity in marriage. Surviving, those two big words, surviving infidelity in marriage. So that my question would be, is infidelity a beginning of a bad marriage, or is infidelity a sign of a bad marriage? Liz.
The statement itself, surviving infidelity, renders the verb transitive. And so it would mean two things. Number one, it would mean to continue to live or to continue to exist after a case of infidelity. It means then it happened once, you decided to forgive, you decided to move forward. Okay?
Yeah.
It means now you have actually survived, or you're surviving infidelity. But the second meaning, again, would be to continue to function or prosper despite infidelity.
Fidelity.
It is there.
Yeah, it is there.
So that means that infidelity in this case is a habit. It's habitual. And you can only function or prosper in it if you normalize it, if you accept it.
Yes.
Are you getting it?
Yeah.
That means you are regarding sexual immorality as a thing to be gratified and not a thing to be controlled.
Yes.
I hope we understand.
We do.
But if infidelity bothers you like it bothers God, you cannot survive it. You cannot. Because survival in this case calls for a normalization of it. It calls for acceptance. Now, that be the case, then there are two options for you. For the weak, you quit. For the strong, you battle it out, and not physically, but spiritually. I'll put it
So
like
in
that.
this case, we want to be strong and battle it.
Yes.
Yes. Richard.
Yes, Dave. I think what our guest has said sums it up very clearly. Surviving, living, accepting, and going on despite that. To me, that's what I take from the statement you made. I am bothered only by the fact that, do we need to survive it? And when we survive it, what is our take about infidelity? Yes. What is it? What does it mean to us? I can survive. I can live without a limb. But when it comes to infidelity, well, it needs the strong. It needs people who can come all out against it because it's a wrong thing. Yeah. There's no other way I can describe it. I know it's wrong. It is sinful. Yes.
Or should we say passing through infidelity?
I think the way it is, it's just okay.
Because
It's all right to say that.
I'm just trying to.
Yes.
You say the same thing.
Dave, we are not going to make it any simpler.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Yes.
Surviving infidelity.
Yes. Because you know it, you are living with it, or you are not living with it. It's a choice. Yes. Sorry.
Yes.
Go on. Just go on.
Two people coming together because of love, but now something else is happening. Why? Why do these people leave? It could be the husband, it could be the wife. I mean, you mentioned earlier as we were preparing that what happened? Why?
What is it that you are seeing today?
You can ask yourself a lot of questions. This is a person who saw you and proposed. Will you marry me? And some years down the line or some period down the line, he looks at you and he's not even interested in what he saw or she saw in you. So you keep on asking yourself, what went wrong? Is there anything that I did, or where is the problem? You will ask yourselves a lot of questions. Yeah.
Most people cheat because they are paying more attention to what they are missing rather than what they have.
And what are they missing?
I mean, it's easier said, just like we said before. Excuses did not begin with us. Excuses began in the Garden of Eden. If you look at the story of Adam and Eve, you know, when Adam and Eve sinned, what happened? God questioned Adam where Eve was. And you know the story, right? So excuses did not begin now. Many times we have different excuses. We want to blame the others, the spouse. I start blaming Richard for one or two things because probably I got attention from my coworker or, even a neighbor. Just little things. They just begin small and then they pile up. And that is how I change. Exactly. So you don't even think that it's going to be like a big quarrel for your spouse to leave. It will just be the little things. From dressing to cooking to not smiling well to coughing in a wrong way, that can also make your spouse cheat.
Liz, someone would say that, I don't know, I just don't know what happened. I just found myself into it.
Well, there's nothing like finding yourself into it. Sin is planned. Christ says it begins in the mind. Finding yourself means it's not even in the mind. You just, then it means you lack the mental faculty.
Yes.
And once you lack the mental faculty, we call them in Kiswahili, wenda wazimu.
You belong to a mental
but if you're normal, it takes planning proper.
Yes.
To get into sin.
And therefore you are actually saying that this sin is not an accident.
It is not an accident.
It's not an accident.
It's not something you say you can find yourself into. But based on that question, that you're paying more attention to what you're missing in your marriage, that is what makes you cheat. The word cheat for me is euphemism.
Yes.
We are trying to make the sin sound okay.
Easy and good.
He cheated on me. There's nothing like he cheated on me. He committed sexual immorality. That is actually the word. And so when we say there's something you're missing in your marriage, that is why you're committing sexual immorality, you are simply justifying your act.
Elizabeth, just hold it there for a moment. What are you missing? Because what takes you out there is right here in the house.
Is what I'm going into.
Yes.
Because he's asked that looks like people are moving out because there's something they're missing
What
in
are
the
you
house.
missing?
Now, is what I'm saying that it is true that when you lack, you begin to look.
That's true.
That is very true.
Yes.
The question is, where are you looking? You understand?
Yes.
Now, agree with me that if your house is leaking, family house leaking, you don't leave family members to go and borrow. Borrow is what?
Take refuge.
To take refuge.
Yeah.
To take refuge in someone else's house.
Whose house?
I mean, even when I'm
leak?
seated there as a mother, I'm thinking, I'm here comfortable and my kids are being rained on.
Yes.
A man or woman of courage
Yes.
will seek to repair
The house.
the leakage.
Yes. Very
You
true.
understand? There's nothing you're missing here. It's just a simple leakage that you need to find out how to repair it. Yes.
So guys, help me out.
It's in there, the agreement. That
Help
for
me
good or
out
for
and
bad.
my viewer. I'm already there. So how do I come out of this?
You have
Because
to accept that you're there first. You
how
cannot
do I
go to the
how do I even know
that you're there.
that I'm there?
You already know you are not there. You already know you are not in your house. What else do you want to know?
If for instance, if I am having an affair and Richard notices and comes to me and talks to me and I refuse, am I in there or not?
You'll actually say no. It's not.
It's just a friend.
Yeah, it's just a friend.
It's not what you're thinking.
Most of the time, it's like someone is not in his senses. Because he feels that, or he or she feels that there's nothing. Like even if you ask that person, is like, is there anything wrong?
Yeah, I will tell you
Yeah.
there's nothing. This is just a friend, Liz. We are just chatting.
That to me is defiance.
It begins from somewhere, right?
That to me is defiance.
It begins from somewhere,
You
right?
know that you are there. You're only trying to,
Even your conscience tells you
tells you are there.
you are just living in denial.
Exactly. You're just living in denial. You're only being very rude because you already know you are there.
That is just, those are, how do you call them? When you, I'm trying to look for the word, but yeah, being rude is just to scare your spouse away so that
Keep them off.
Yeah.
Yes. You're
Yeah, that's
developing
not
some
that's just a
defensive
friend. It's not
mechanism.
me. It's not what you're thinking.
Yeah. It's not,
Yes.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah. So, and then others, you know what happens, Liz? Others, if I am in a relationship and he finds out, I don't know whether I'll say pause or I leave that person. I go to the next man. So it just becomes a habit. Yeah.
So what happens? I've left. Now I want to come back. How? I mean, I still don't. Richard is sounding very rude. That it is rude. Help me out.
Yeah.
Yes, help
Yeah,
me
you
out.
really
How? I mean, help me out, Liz.
There is need to understand that sex is a gift of God to the married.
To the married.
Okay? And it's like a river that is flowing.
Yes.
When it's within the banks, it's a very
okay.
powerful thing.
It's all right. Yeah.
Okay? It's a very powerful thing. It becomes a source of pleasure. It becomes a source of power. But when it overflows
The banks.
its banks, it becomes destructive, it becomes disastrous. And the minute it becomes destructive and disastrous is where people now don't want to own
Yes.
their mistake and begin to live in denial. Okay? And they will tell you, no, we are just friends, we are just colleagues, blah, blah, no, there's nothing going on. People want to wait until we see a child born
Or sickness comes.
so that they'll tell you, after all, you don't pay attention to me. You know,
Didn't do this.
that is what, they wanted to get to that point before they can own their mistake. But I want to say this, sex within marriage is beautiful and very fulfilling and very creative and has a protective effect against immorality. No, all that God has given us about sex in marriage as something that must be guarded is simply to protect us
Yes.
from immorality. Are you getting it? But outside of marriage, sex becomes very ugly and very destructive, and it becomes like a fire. Okay? You will enjoy sex as a man, let me say so, out there because a child does not come into the picture.
True.
The day you're told, I've missed my periods, it complicates your life. You just can't imagine you have become polygamous by default.
Very true.
Yeah, it's true, and it dawns on you so hard.
But I want to say this. Not even in polygamy can we accept sexual immorality, because polygamy is an institution used to sanitize sexual immorality.
Very true.
Ancient polygamy was open.
Yeah.
Today, modern polygamy is hidden. Is what we are calling mpango wa kando.
Yeah.
God has never sanctioned polygamy.
True.
And that is why we are saying, even with the infidelity in marriage, you can deal with it based on how you choose to deal with it. Are you getting it? If you accept it, that is a normal sin, that's why I call normalization and acceptance. It's a normal thing in our society. I can survive it. Then it would be tough. But if you stand on God's side and say, no, even you said this thing is not good, then you fight it from a different point of view. So it's about you who is sober saying, it has come. Because the devil is so real. We fall into sin. You understand? Yeah. But I'm telling God, I'm not accepting it. And I'm also not quitting my marriage. We are battling it out to be able to have the institution of marriage stand strong.
That's right.
Yes.
How do we fight it? Yes.
It means that it needs one sober person, and you fully trust in God. And I know it can take time, by the way. It takes time.
This sober person would be the one committing the infidelity, or the other one?
The other one who remains. Say if someone walks out, the one who remains.
I thought this is a war you got to fight, the two of you.
No, you can't fight. And then at times, truly speaking, when you're going through that, you don't even have the strength to pray. It becomes tough, right? How do you even pray? You're seeing this person here, it becomes a little tough. So, patience.
Well, the toughness comes in this way.
Yeah.
It's like a sponge. You drop it on a surface that has water.
Yeah.
It will not leak up the water immediately.
Right.
It takes time. But a time comes when it
sucks.
It sucks. Kabisa.
Completely.
And the place is dry. So that moment when you first realize, my husband, my wife has moved out, it's never easy.
Definitely.
Even praying becomes
tough.
Challenge.
difficult. It's until you sit down and your shock absorbers now are working. Say, okay, fine, it's here. Now, how do we deal with it? We always come to that point. That's the first point when you first meet it. Even me, I can't pray. You're still battling, asking yourself so many questions. What is wrong with me? You're asking yourself so many questions. It might even start, for some people, it takes a whole year. For some people, it only takes a week. Depending on your understanding of the power of God. Because if you do not understand the power of God, it will take you forever. But when you understand the power of God and what He is able to do, it can even take you a week or even 2 days or even a day or even a second to say, it has come. So how do I move forward?
Yes, that's the question now. It has come, how do I move? I've come back home and I'm telling Linda, Shetani alinidanganya. Is there something like that?
Yeah, there are people who will talk about it. Yeah, there are some people who will talk to their spouse and tell them, hey, Shetani alindanganya, just like you say. Others, the spouse will find out. So, but once you're in the same level where you all know, the beauty is at least you already know.
Recognize that.
Yes, once you recognize it, it's easier to talk about it. But when you're still in denial, it's really hard for Linda to have that conversation with you. Because, hey, you're not sick. So how do I treat you?
I'm fine, I'm okay. Yes, Richard.
Shetani amenidanganya. You probably will be meaning that it's an instant thing. It just happened now. Na kuna wale ambao Shetani aliwadanganya. Bado anawadanganya. Anaendelea kuwadanganya. Still bado anaendelea tu. So Shetani alinidanganya could be true because the devil is a liar. It's not a lie to say that. But kama alikudanganya, then you need to come out of it. Have you realized that Shetani alikudanganya? Yes. That's why you say the devil lied to me.
Yes.
He cheated me. Now that you know that you are just cheated, who likes to live in cheating? Who likes to live in that lie?
You know, shetani alindanganya is a statement used when you're caught.
Exactly. Right.
Before you're
Yes.
caught,
You
it's okay to go with it. What we need to know about the statement shetani alindanganya is a stimulus. And there's both positive and negative stimuli.
Yes.
God is talking on this side, the devil is talking on this other side.
Yes.
There's choice. There's between choice, response and stimulus, there is choice.
Yes.
Who makes the choice?
It's you.
It is you.
Yeah.
Ellen White makes a very hard statement and says, for all the choices we made in this life, neither God nor Satan is responsible.
It is yourself.
Because you chose. The same way you had the opportunity to choose what the devil is giving you is the same way you had the opportunity to choose what God is offering you.
Very true.
So to come and say, I'm sorry, shetani alindanganya, you're actually not accepting that you have a problem.
Yes.
You're still in
You're
denial.
still in denial. Real men say, it's true.
Yes. I've done it.
And it takes.
I've done this thing. And I'm struggling to come out of it. You have caught me. I mean, that is it. That is where I am. You don't shift blame because shetani alindanganya is what Adam said.
That's true. Blame them.
He said, the woman you gave me,
It didn't stop the consequences.
it didn't stop the consequences.
Very true.
I like it. Someone one time called me and said, we are not relating well sexually with my wife. Ask why? I say, she found out that I had an illicit affair. Is it true? I say, yeah, it is true. Why? And they said, the woman has a problem, a little bit of a problem, biological problem. I said, Mike, couldn't you find a solution to the biological problem and moving on? And he says, I have seen my mistake. I know I have hurt her, but she has just refused to forgive me. In fact, if you come to me and tell me shetani alikudanganya, I'll find forgiveness very difficult. But even the word to confess, to confess means to agree.
Yes.
No, it's a homologomen. No, to agree with God. Homo means one. You agree with God that what He's saying is true about you. Yeah, I have committed adultery. It's not about, oh God, you see, it's because of one. No. It's telling God, God, for sure what you're saying, I've committed adultery, is true. I have committed adultery. David says it nicely. Against you alone have I sinned. He's owning up to his mistake.
Very true.
You get it? If discussions began on that point, it elicits compassion from the other person
Very true.
and sees the need
Yeah.
to begin a journey to recovery.
Yeah.
But if you want to keep on telling me, you see, this thing, everyone does it, she's also a woman like you, shetani alindanganya, I find it difficult to even begin the road to recovery with you because shetani is not dead yet. No. Is until
Anaweza kukudanganya again.
it
So
can.
unless we accept that we've done wrong and truly say we've done wrong, then we can give the other person the room for even having an ear for.
So this is for those who have been caught.
Yes.
What about this one who has realized that, or rather come back to his senses or her senses and said, this is wrong?
But your spouse has not realized what
No,
you have
the
been
spouse
doing.
has not realized
That is
what you've
between
been
you and God. Clear it with God. You can. We always say the truth in love.
Yeah.
One time a woman was called by some man to come for a job. Traveled all over to town B for the job. And the man says, there's this big job, but you must pay me no money. Wants to sleep with her. She goes ahead, sleeps with the man. She has the job.
Yes.
But she's guilty.
Yeah.
So she's asking, Pastor, should I tell it to my husband? you don't know the problem you will
And to
cause.
Yeah.
cause. Yes.
Elise,
It is truth, yes.
just hold on to that story. We have found 2 occasions. One, you have been caught, and now you are owning up. Whether you say it, shetani alinidanganya, you're owning up. 2, you have not been caught. You are still in it. And that is what Liz was just trying to give a scenario of this lady who found herself in it, and now she's guilty and struggling. Yes.
The guilt will always be there, because your conscience is the one that is judging you, no one else. And speaking of telling the truth in love, at times would mean silence as you deal with it between you and God.
Yes.
Because you look at what are the repercussions of telling my spouse that, you know what, I went to look for that job. And we ended up making out
Yes.
with that guy. So the guy is supposed to smile and say, no problem, this will soon be over. No. You will have begun one problem that might take forever to solve.
Maybe setting
So
a
we are saying,
precedence.
if you are in it,
Yes.
and the Holy Spirit has convicted you that you're in a wrong thing, settle it out between you and God, because it has not become public.
Yes.
It's the same way we deal with public sin. If it has come out in the public, you need a rebaptism.
Yes.
But if you know no one has found out, it's only God and the devil that knows what you have gotten yourself into.
Yes.
You don't need to abuse baptism, by saying, I'm going.
I'm going back.
No, just handle it between you
Yes.
and God. And it doesn't have to be the handling where tomorrow again you relapse into it. No. Christ is telling that woman, go sin
No more.
No more.
Yeah, because there are people, for instance, if you have an affair and your spouse gets to know, they end up even revenging.
Yes.
Yeah, because like, okay, this is what he's doing, I'm going to do it better. Yes, and women are smarter. For instance, I can play my game so well, he wouldn't know. Or he can, for women, for your spouse to know that you're cheating, it probably, you must have been really careless
But
compared
your
to men.
conscience will always
Yes.
Yes,
take you up.
on that note,
Yeah.
there is this gadget that we use a lot, phone.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's terrible.
And you are struggling to get the word. I think for now we can use phone sexting,
Yeah.
where you start just chatting with someone, and then it begins with a hi.
Yes, somebody sends you a text. And the text, you read it and it begins to run in your mind. What does this one mean? Hi, how are you? Fine. I saw you yesterday. I've seen this and that happening. I say, all right, thank you. I appreciate that. How can I meet you? Where is this leading to?
Or you are the one who is still talking,
Yes.
but this is the truth. You update your status, you take a nice photo, and then someone writes,
Oh, you look gorgeous.
you look like a snack. Continue.
Yeah, then you
say
begin to
thank
respond.
You say thank you.
Yeah, you say thank you. And this statement develops into another and another and another and another. You haven't stopped it. You are seeing it leading you to a place where there's going to be either saying yes or no. And you avoid the no part. You're still going on. Nothing has happened.
That's why Liz was saying it's a process, that what you're explaining.
Yes.
Someone just doesn't find themselves in it.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you say, shetani alinidanganya how? So it's a process. What
In
you're
this
saying.
case, Linda, shetani hata hajakuja. Shetani has not
See, that's the process of shetani.
Because once you respond,
Shetani will come based on your responses.
Yeah.
If he ever comes. But you're already you're already in texting each other.
yeah, and you look forward to the text.
Yes. You are expecting this to come. We are chatting with this person. It's like people go into internet and they're chatting with people they don't know.
Yeah.
It develops and develops and develops. And it goes into pictures. This one is sent, that one is sent, that is sent, that is sent, left, right, and center. This is some form of infidelity,
It is actually.
isn't it?
It's a temptation.
Of course.
And you must know where to
Limit.
terminate it.
Yes.
Terminate it before it escalates.
Yes.
Now, if Dave told me, Pastor, you look good in this outfit, I say it's fine. The next thing, hey,
Are you called a 2H? You are so nice in this one.
the discussion gets sensual
Yes.
and
Yes.
sexual. Now block Dave. You don't need to continue, and you don't need to play along is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
You don't need to play along because you'll play along and you'll be also carried away with your emotions. The minute you notice it's becoming sensual, just quit at that point. For one simple reason, you are also married, or who you're chatting with is also a married person. You have no business. The discussions I ought to hold with you is business. Beyond that, we can't go sexual, we can't go sensual with you.
There are people who prefer married people because they say they have no responsibility. Because, hey, if I am dating somebody right now, I am married, right? This man won't have to marry me. This man won't have to do so many things compared to like a single person. So other married people prefer married, which is also a very bad thing. Yeah.
You know, sometimes you try to create some consciousness in this unconscious state.
Yeah.
Then you say, you send a text and then, or you send a picture and say, please delete it immediately.
Right.
Your husband will see it.
Yes.
Then you're like, now
God is already talking
I'm
to you.
getting comfortable.
That what you're doing is wrong.
Yeah.
But it makes someone comfortable and say, now she's aware that Linda may stray into my phone and see the photos.
Yeah.
She tells me
To delete.
immediately.
Yes.
So you see,
And
that
he
is
forgets.
also, yes.
At times you forget. At times you forget. And that's how you're found too. Yeah.
Like now you are like, kumbe she knows I'm
married.
something,
Yeah, she's comfortable with that. And that is what Tabby is saying. You see, you find yourself into this and something makes you comfortable. The other person makes you comfortable by acknowledging that you're married, but make sure that whatever...
We can deal with it by deleting it.
Yes.
You're not here to talk to me. We are using the phone.
Yeah.
So once this discussion ends, kindly delete. So it's
Clear.
okay to continue with it. We only need to be careful. That is what that person is saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. That's what leads into it. Yeah, it starts simple, but it can become very big. And when it's very big, then it is a problem.
Sure.
when you're
Yeah.
carried away, and it's the carrying away, by the way. You get used to it and you forget, then things happen. Yeah.
So, we are here now. How do we help this man or this woman get out of this? Whether they have acknowledged or not. Because at some point, there has to be some,
Solution.
reality check.
Yeah, there must be some sobriety.
There has to be some sobriety. So how do we now help our viewer?
Yes.
Yes.
To surmount this sort of thing.
Yes. The one who has not been caught, the one who has been caught, and the one who is just about to begin.
Yeah, to begin, I like
Yes,
that.
they're
Yeah.
just about to begin.
Yeah, of course, the one who's about to begin, please don't try. Don't try.
The word is block.
The one who's supposed to, who wants to begin?
The word
the word
is
is to
block.
block.
Oh,
Tell that
yes,
person to block.
yes. Don't
To cut
try.
the links.
Yeah, just cut it. You'll thank me later.
I think that brings in the discussion about a good or a bad marriage. Then we all need to know and understand that marriage in itself is not bad.
Yeah, it's good.
Marriage has for its originator the Creator Himself. And the fact that it's an institution or initiative of God,
Yes.
it renders it holy, it renders it divine.
Yeah.
That means it comes with divine principles
Right.
that safeguard it.
Yes.
So marriage per se is not bad. The parties that get into the system
Yes.
are the ones that
That's
are bad.
Yeah.
So marriage may seem to fail. I use the word seem.
Yeah.
Because marriage is a blessing.
Yes.
And there's no blessing of God that
Fails.
is a curse. No. it may seem to fail for two reasons. Failure to recognize and obey the divine principles. Two, you can recognize and obey them, but it still fails. Why? Because the devil understands the purpose of marriage more than we do.
Okay.
Because if you read the Bible well, the purpose of marriage, Malachi 2 says, why did he make them one? Because he seeks a godly offspring. For what purpose? Then Spirit of Prophecy will tell you from the book Thoughts About Angels that when Lucifer rebelled in heaven, he was expelled with a third of the angels. There's a vacancy in heaven that must be repopulated. So the plan of God to repopulate heaven is to use marriage. So that in every marriage we will have families springing out. Families springing out outside of marriage was never the intention of God. God had a structure. Marriage, family becomes a fruit of marriage. We will raise children that are godly. So we are preparing people in family to occupy the vacancies that were left in heaven. Are you understanding? So the devil knows that very well.
So he's fighting.
So if he knows that is the intention of God and is being expelled, what else do you expect from the devil? Fight what?
Family.
Fight family.
Yeah.
You get it? So I really wish all of us could understand the purpose of marriage in that light. Then you will know that every challenge that comes with marriage is meant by the devil to thwart the plan of God. In having humanity join with heaven at a later time. So once I sense infidelity in my marriage, how do I handle it? Take on a spiritual angle and begin to fight the devil. And that is why I said when we began, the statement that it takes two for marriage to work, the devil knows once he attacks Dave, Linda will definitely quit. You get it? But if Linda understands that the devil is interested in destroying the plan of God that he has with marriage, then she will say, no, I need to stand firm. And it's not like you're helping God fulfill his purpose. No. God is never helped. He helps us. What you do is you allow him to be, you allow yourself to be used of God in fulfilling his purposes. And all of us are saying we are standing.
Listen on that, you take a spiritual angle.
Yes.
My question is, and I know these guys, they will say both. Please don't say both.
Okay.
Who is more likely to take this head on, to start praying for the other? In other words, I'm asking the question on the other side, that who is more likely to become to cheat?
To cheat or to become the sober one? Which one?
Now I've asked the same question, but in two angles.
But women are the ones who always remain in many instances.
Dave, it's either of them. You don't want us to use both. You don't want us to use both, so I'm saying it's either of them, which means both of them.
Yeah, you know the reality is, if I found Linda cheating, it would be different compared to if Linda found out that I'm cheating.
That's true.
That's the truth, right? Yes. So
how different then?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe
I support what you're saying, because in this culture, men are seen as polygamous, right?
Naturally polygamous.
I'm sorry?
Naturally polygamous.
Natural, yes. Yes, I know there's a word called polyandry, like you can marry many husbands, but it's not common, right? I have actually never seen, I've heard, but I've never seen a woman who has more than 2 husbands. So, that's what I'm saying. I haven't. So it depends on an individual. If this happens to me and Richard, I do not know how Richard is going to handle or how to react, and I also, he would not even know how I'm going to react. So it also varies.
But that statement is not an excuse for infidelity that men are naturally.
Yes, you brought an idea. You were talking about how people would take it. I mean,
would react to it.
How would people react to it? You know, if my wife is known to be out there.
Having an affair, yeah.
People will bash you more
Right.
because you are trying to relate to these cultures, which sort of like accept that men must or should or are, polygamous. But this is not polygamy. That is number one.
Of course, yeah.
Yes. Number two, there is no way it cannot be bad because it's the man doing it. It is still bad by whatever color.
Yes.
It is still bad by whatever form it is. Whether it's by texting, whether it's physical, whether it's whatever. It's still wrong, And the match that anybody would want to bash you with because it's you or a woman who's doing that, the sin is still the same. It has not changed.
And on that note, is there full recovery? Remember, we are now coming back. Is there full recovery? Whether it's the wife or the husband, is there full recovery?
When you involve God, when, like just as Lisa said, you fight it spiritually, I think there's full recovery, there's hope. Because it's God who initiated marriage and He's able to restore by then. If you put it back to Him, His will be done.
Two quick questions there. Next one is there, when do we opt out, Liz?
I'm not sure what you're calling
Opting out.
opting out. Tabia said something. Men are polygamous
By nature.
by nature. It's a wrong statement.
Completely.
It's just something that society has accepted.
That's what I said.
Yes.
That's what I
Yes.
actually, I
But
mentioned
there's nothing
that.
natural in man to become polygamous. It is something we have normalized and accepted, so we think it should continue. But man is not polygamous by nature. God didn't create us that way. If Mokoro finds me cheating, how he will react depends on whether he's carnal or spiritual.
Yeah.
You get it?
Yeah.
Either way. They say women would love to stay. But if you look keenly, why they are willing to battle it is because once a woman has been married, who will take you with 5 children? You get it? So our argument more is, hey, and these children, let me just stay because of my children. Where will I go? But we are not reasoning in terms of, I want to save my spouse.
Yes.
You get it? For men, they might not find it difficult because they will feel, what's wrong in having 2 or 3 wives? Are you getting it?
Yeah.
But the reality is, our reaction should be based on whether we are carnal or spiritual. If we are spiritual, whether man or woman, it shouldn't shake you. You'll take it as any other arrow that the devil throws in marriage. But when you're carnal, then you'll behave in the best way you know how. At what time do you opt out?
Yes.
There's no opting out.
Not in this one.
Because the purposes of God can never be thwarted, not even by the devil. So marriage as an institution, there's no single day it will come down and we say the things that God began were defeated. No, it's an individual who chooses to stand with God and have the institution of marriage stand. And I can tell you, if it fails because of me, it will still stand. Marriage as an institution, because God will bring sanity at some point. There's the restorative power of God. So those that choose to partner with God, we will have this institution stand. Those that think it's a physical affair, we will partner with the devil to bring it down. That is how I look.
Thank you.
Yes.
Where should I now turn to?
Sorry?
What should I do, or who should I turn to?
I think God has said it clearly. God. God will never let you down.
He's the one who instituted marriage. And if you want any solution, just go to Him.
Okay.
I don't know whether it's wrong to also talk to somebody who's also gone through it. At times you just need to talk to somebody. If Lisa's gone through it and is my friend and is also my prayer partner, and I shared this with her, I think that encouragement can also be, you can be my support system. Not everybody, you don't share it with everybody. Everybody, you're not helping yourself. But I think having a support system is also very key.
Dave, sometimes the support system is very strong. It comes even from our own parents. But the parent may give you a support which is not very good. Insisting, my daughter, just stay. Your dad also did it.
I know.
And I stayed with you, I'm living here, I'm still okay.
I'm still surviving.
Just don't worry. Don't leave your children, just get stuck in it and go forward. So this support system also needs to be a very well chosen one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you must be in a place where you really know which ones are successful.
Yeah.
Because some people just give up and they survive in it.
Yeah, they give up.
I want us to read the book of Isaiah 64 verse 6. And then now we can give our final thoughts. And of course, this is Hope Channel Kenya. We are giving hope, bringing hope to families.
Very
So at
true.
the end of the day, there is hope to everyone. And you have clearly said it here.
Yeah.
Yes, Isaiah 64 verse 6.
64 verse 6 says, "But we are all as unclean things, and all our righteousness are as filthy rags. And we all do fade as leaves, and our iniquities, like the wind, have taken us away." Yeah.
It's a statement that makes us come to our senses and know that we are weak beings and we need the support of God and the support of one another. Yes.
Not only that, it tells you your spouse can err,
Yeah.
and you don't choose on what direction they err. You can err in terms of infidelity, you can err in terms of any other thing. The way I'll deal with you as my husband will determine how my husband will deal with me when I find myself
Yeah.
Same
in a
situation.
situation. So let us understand you are dealing with sinful beings, okay? And the best approach is that you commit them to the hands
Of God.
of God.
God.
And we're not talking about spasmodic prayers.
Yes.
These prayers that you say when you feel is convenient.
Yeah.
We are talking about serious prayers of deliverance.
Yes.
Because what your husband or wife has gotten into is a spiritual problem that requires prayers. They're called prayers for deliverance.
I'm told that we are trying to organize so that we can have another session for this.
Okay.
But time has really gone, and I want to ask everyone to give their final thought and a word of encouragement. Today I want to start with Richard.
Yes.
Come to Tabby, Linda, and then Liz will give a final thought.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dave. Thank you, our viewer. This is not an easy thing. Infidelity is a serious problem. But here we are trying to bring hope. We aren't perfect ourselves. And we are living today, we don't know about tomorrow. We may equally fall, even from where we are sitting today. And therefore, if you have gone through that, don't be discouraged. God is still in the business of correcting marriage.
Thank you.
Because we know it's the devil who is really bringing all these problems. So take courage, have hope, take it to God. He's ready to receive that weight that you have on your shoulders.
Wow, Tabby.
You're not the only one. More prayer, more power.
Dear viewer, God is counting on you. That sober one in that marriage, please pray for the other partner. Commit everything to God. And God is the institutor. He will make all things well according to his will.
Read Philippians 4 verse 8.
Philippians
4 verse 8.
4 verse 8 says, "Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things."
Amen.
Liz.
I would say there is no justification
All.
for infidelity.
True.
You are irresponsible, insensitive, and a coward not to face the needs in your marriage within marriage. That is number one. And so I would want also to say that once you see a problem has just begun to crop up, report it to the high priest, who is Christ himself.
Amen.
Don't let the leprosy spread until it pitches tentacles.
Yes.
And then you begin now to say, what do I do? People fail to report to the high priest so that he can sort it out immediately. They begin to report to man, who has no power over sin.
Yes.
Paul says, 1 Corinthians 6, I think is verse 19, if I'm not wrong. He says, flee from sexual immorality. To tell you that sexual immorality is not a spiritual challenge to be met. it is a spiritual trap to be escaped. You get it? You know, we have baptized sin as addiction. So someone say, I have an addiction for drinking. The Bible says it is sin. Once you baptize it an addiction, then it is narrowed down to a challenge that we need to find a way to handle it.
Time.
Yes. Okay. Allow me just 1 second.
Yes.
So what I'm saying is this, that it is something that we must flee. There is no excuse for it. The Bible says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens. Both for the one that goes out and it has become a problem, and for the one that remains, you can win this battle, because in Christ we are more than conquerors.
Amen. Amen.
There you have it. In Christ we are more than conquerors. You can still fight it. Remember, it is through God that we can do it. God bless you, even as we plan to meet again for another exciting session just like this one, only in Family Times. See you.